So today I'm going to be exploring in Gemini the use of gems. So gems are they can be pre-made. So a pre-made AI assistant that is built for a specific task or output. So kind of like we spoke about in the previous video, we're talking about personas, tasks, etc. and so forth. These are already pre-built for your specific need. So we're going to go through and I'm just going to show you the pre-built ones and also how to make your own gems as well for a specific task. Okay, so here we are in the Gemini app. As I mentioned previously, just go to your apps at the top right hand side here, click on Gemini, and that'll take you to Gemini there. And also you've got gemini.google.com. So on the left hand side here, just show you, if you press the burger menu at the top left hand side, you've got all of the items available here. So this is where you can obviously just start a new Gemini chat, but we're going to use the gems today. So we're talking about the gems. And there are a couple of pre-built options here. If you press more, there's a couple there. So you've got a hiring assistant, coding partner, outreach specialist. So there's a number of different ones. Again, sales pitch ideator. But we're going to use the sentiment analyzer just to give you an example of what you can do. And again, if you click into these, it give you ideas of what you can ask them to do. So if I go to the sentiment analyzer, just here. Okay, so I have done this already just to test. You always test everything. So I'm going to enter a prompt in here. So I want this to take a look at the Haptic Networks reviews. So I'm say, take a look at Haptic Networks. Can you tell me what their customers think of them from their Google reviews? So I'm just going to give that to the sentiment analyzer because it analyzes customer feedback and reveals trends and makes recommendations. There you go. So I can see now. There we go. So it says Haptic Networks has received positive feedback from its customers. Here's a summary of what customers are saying. So we're helpful and supportive, excellent to work with, reliable. Specific mention there from certain people as well, which is always good. So that's how you can use the standard gems. And again, you can edit these gems if you want as well. So if you go into the sentiment analyzer, click on that, you can make a copy and you can edit it. So if it's kind of where you want it to be in terms of what it does, but you need to give it a little bit more information. You can do that by copying the pre-made one and adjusting it to your needs. So how do we create our own gem? So if you go into Gem Manager just here, so it gives you some pre-made ones that you can copy and use from, but we're going to create our own new gem just here. So I'm going to click on a new gem. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a personal trainer. Okay. Now, what you can do here with the personal trainer is you give it some instructions. So remember our key items here. We're talking persona, we're talking context, we're talking task, and we're talking about format as well. Okay. And you don't necessarily have to get these things absolutely perfect because I'm going to show you a really good way of getting the gem to be in a good position for you without you having to do any of the heavy lifting. So as I mentioned in previous video, I cheat a little bit. I keep all of my notes in Google Keep, and I'll use Google Keep to help me put my prompts together. So I've got a little prompt here that I've prepared earlier. So my prompt is, you are a personal trainer who specializes in providing strength and conditioning exercises, sport specific exercises, good practice around stretching, warm up, cool downs, etc. etc. Now, the good thing around this as well is you can add specific knowledge to your gems. So if I click on add files here, I can press the add files and I can add any sort of contextual files into there. So if it's a drive file, if it's a routine of exercise, it could be a book of stretching, for example. You can put that in there to add more information to it. So I can test the instructions from here. So I can add a prompt in there. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, or it's not quite right, what you can do is you can actually get Gemini to rewrite the instructions by pressing the magic pencil here. So it will take the context that you've done there. If I click on that, it will rewrite that. There we go. And you can see there, it gives you a good little rundown there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put a prompt into this very quickly just to test it, and I'm going to put in here, I am training for a triathlon, as one of my colleagues is doing. So I'm training for a triathlon. Give me a good 6-week plan to help me prepare. There we go. And let's see what it comes out with. There we go. So it will ask you a little bit of feedback on this to help you with your goals. So it'll go through, basically say, look, here's the key thing that you need to do. So there you go. It gives you some really good baseline stuff. Now, if you're happy with those results, all you do then is press save, and that will save the gem. And I can go back, I can start the chat there, and you can see there that my personal trainer has been created there. And that is how you create your own gem. Also, don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video, to like, subscribe so you can get more content from us.